Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with Bloody Mary Burrata. That's right, I tried to do a mashup of a tomato mozzarella salad with a Bloody Mary, hoping that I would invent some kind of cutting-edge liquid salad. But after a few spoonfuls, I realized I'd actually made gazpacho with a lump of burrata in it, which was fine, since while it was a little bit bizarre, it was also very, very delicious. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with our Bloody Mary base. And for that, we'll need a couple pounds of the sweetest, ripest tomatoes we can find, which for me will be some of these beautiful heirloom cherry tomatoes, plus these gorgeous dry-farmed early girls, which we will go ahead and cut the core out before tossing them in a blender. And while the early girl is one of the most delicious and sweetest tomatoes ever, the skins are extremely tough, which is why we're going to have to strain this after we blend it. And then besides our tomatoes, we will also add a little bit of sliced celery, since as you may know, a little bit of bitterness always brings out the sweetness in the other ingredients. And then speaking of bittersweet, we will add a little bit of heat in the form of a red jalapeno, also known around here as a Fresno chili. And then we'll also toss in a little touch of garlic, right, like just half of a small clove. And then we'll finish this up adding a splash of water before we proceed to blend this nice and smooth. And I'm only adding a touch, since for my purposes I wanted this a little closer to a sauce than a juice. But if you're actually going to make drinks with this, which would be a great idea, you could add a little more. But anyway, we'll go ahead and blend that on high until it's very, very smooth. At which point, like I said, we'll go ahead and strain it. And please do not be concerned about that pinkish color. Alright, that's just being caused by the billions of air bubbles in this. And you'll see as we strain this and add the rest of the ingredients and it sits, it will get darker and darker. And eventually it will be beautiful. So we will go ahead and pass that through a fine mesh strainer to, like I said, get rid of all that tough skin. And then once that's been accomplished, we can proceed to add whatever we consider to be Bloody Mary ingredients. Like, for example, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, as well as a very generous application of Worcester sauce. And then after that, I'm going to add one nice big spoon of extra hot prepared horseradish, another key component in any proper Bloody Mary. We will also do a little shot of hot sauce, or cayenne, or both. Oh, and if you're looking for a little bit of a smoky element, a little touch of chipotle or smoked paprika would also work well. And that's it. I'm going to finish mine off with a ridiculously large amount of freshly ground black pepper, as well as a little bit of kosher salt. And we'll go ahead and take a whisk and give that a thorough mixing. At which point we should probably taste it and adjust, which is exactly what I did. And I decided mine needed a little more black pepper and horseradish and Worcestershire sauce. So I went ahead and tossed those in, gave it another stir, and of course another taste. But please keep in mind, you're going to want to taste and adjust this before you serve it when it's ice cold, since things really do taste differently at different temperatures. So if you're going to serve something very cold, make sure you do your final seasoning adjustments once it's very cold. But having said that, even at room temp, we're going to get it pretty close here. And then what we'll do once we're happy with that is go ahead and wrap this up and pop it in the fridge for a few hours or until it's ice cold. Okay, there's a reason Bloody Marys are served on ice. So I went ahead and wrapped that up and popped it in the fridge. And while that's chilling, let's go ahead and talk burrata cheese. And if you're not familiar with this stuff, you really should be. It is nothing short of magical. And when you lift it out of the brine, it really does look like a regular fresh mozzarella. And that is pretty much what the outside skin is. But you'll see as you cut into this, the inside is extremely soft and creamy. And kind of sort of to me looks like a brain. And now for some reason I'm thinking of lactose intolerant zombies. But anyway, let me go ahead and sneak a little taste. And if you like mozzarella and creamy things, you are going to absolutely love burrata. Which of course begs the question, should we be covering this delicious subtle taste up with a Bloody Mary mix? And the answer to that is I don't know. But I do know that burrata pairs amazingly well with a tomato salad, which is exactly why I wanted to see what it would be like in this. So I went ahead and ladled up some of my now ice-cold Bloody Mary base. And then what we'll do after we transferred in a few ladlefuls of that is go ahead and add in some of our amazing burrata cheese, at which point we can proceed to garnish this just like we would any fancy Bloody Mary, which in my case meant scattering over some sliced green olives, as well as some sliced celery, for not only its flavor, but also for a little bit of crunch. And then after that, I also decided to add a little bit of sliced cherry tomato, and a little bit of a nod to the tomato mozzarella salad part of this equation. And then even though we added prepared horseradish to our Bloody Mary base, I also peeled the end of a fresh horseradish root, so I could go ahead and finally grate that over the top of my cheese. Okay, the prepared stuff is a little hotter and sharper, while the fresh stuff has a little subtler burn, but with this incredibly intoxicating, nose-tingling, aromatic aroma. So I went ahead and grated some of that over the top, and I went ahead and garnished with a nice leaf of celery. And I probably should have stopped right there, because it really did look amazing. But I wanted to finish this off with a little bit of black pepper and a few drops of olive oil, which I thought would make it look a little more provocative. But in hindsight, it kind of just made the top look a little bit dingy. But anyway, I'm probably overthinking this, because that really does not look bad. So I went ahead and grabbed a spoon and dug in. And the tomato vegetable part of this really did taste like a Bloody Mary. And my hope was when I combined it with the cheese, I would have sort of a new, exciting liquid version of a tomato mozzarella salad, which I most definitely did not accomplish. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this really did taste like a Bloody Mary flavored gazpacho, with burrata cheese in it, which ended up being sort of bizarre and a little bit confusing, but happily also very, very delicious. And what's kind of funny here is my least favorite part of a Bloody Mary is actually the vodka. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the buzz, especially at like 11 a.m., but I really don't love what that alcohol finish does to the other flavors, which is one reason why I think I enjoyed this so much. But anyway, having said that, if you want to try this with vodka, go ahead. I mean, you are, after all, the macho camacho of whether your gazpacho is borracho. So feel free to go ahead and rush that up if you want. But anyway, that's it, what I'm calling Bloody Mary burrata, mostly because I was not sure what to call it. All right, sometimes in the kitchen we try to do things, but we end up doing other things, which, while not the same things, are still very good things. So I'm going to leave it up to you what to call this or how to describe it. But regardless, I really do hope you give this a try soon. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.